Hello and welcome to World of Tanks for me, Cricketwes. It's been a while since I've done a review, so today I thought I'd do a review of one of my favourite heavy tanks in the game, E75, one of the Tier 9 German heavy tanks alongside the VK4502A, 452B, the Mighty Shoe. This thing is a pretty good counterpart to the Shoe. It's more manoeuvrable than the Shoe, but not quite as well armoured, from the front at least. Just go straight into the armour. 160mm upper front plate, very strong, and 130 lower plate, still very strong. So yeah, this thing is very well armoured from the front. Not quite as well as the Shoe, because that's got 200 upper and lower plate, but it's still very strong. You will get a lot of bounces, and you may be surprised how often that you can bounce shots on the lower plate. I mean, it is less on paper, it is less armoured, or less well armoured than the upper front plate, but it's sloped at about 70 degrees compared to the upper front plate's 55 degrees or thereabouts. So from the front, in like an IS-8, or what I'm comparing it to, the STI, or the ST1 if you want to be pedantic, you will probably have a better chance of penetrating this about as far down on the upper front plate as you can get, rather than at the top of the lower plate, if that makes any sense. Side armor 120, so this is pretty good for side scraping, not quite as good as some of the Russian heavies because of the lack of spaced armor. The only spaced armor you get on here is the tracks, rather than the magical Soviet spaced armor that appears like almost where the side armor on this is, because of Russia. So yeah, 120 at the sides and 120 at the rear, so you can get some troll bounces from like behind if you're up against like tier 7 and 8 light tanks, for example. Moving upwards towards the turret, very strong turret, 252mm from the front. Only like tier 9 and 10 tank destroyers can go through that, and you need a pretty accurate gun as well, because the gun mantlet itself, it doesn't take up too much of the turret front, but if you hit it, then it's just an auto bounce. There are some zones where you can get penetrations, or is there? It doesn't look as if so. So no, if you hit the gun mantlet, guaranteed ricochet, pretty much. 160 turret side armor, very strong. It's not like the Tiger 2's turret where you can pretty much pin it from the front, except on the side of the turret. So yeah, front of the turret side of the turret from the front, auto bounce, and 160mm turret armor at the rear, apart from this little hatch here, which is 100mm, so that is quite an obvious weak spot, to be honest. Not many people really take that into account when they think that those little hatches and stuff count as weak spots. Cupola, still reasonably well armoured actually, 160mm. If you're shooting it from, if you're looking up at it, say you're in like a small tank, maybe. I don't really know any small tanks with good penetration. Yeah, I don't know. But 190mm, so reasonably well armoured, 180 at least. Top of the turret, that's just an auto bounce, even if it is 60mm. But the top of the tank, RT, it's not really going to get penetrated by RT from the top, even though it is only 40mm, because the shell's coming in at an angle, so you might get some like hits on the turret or on the side, I don't know. But I haven't got pinned by RT in this ever, really. Moving on to the equipment, I would have ventilation, gun rammer, and vert stabs. Vert stabs over gun lane drive, because vert stabs Mark II, so you get 20% extra accuracy rather than the 10% of the gun lane drive. Normal consumables, first aid kit, repair kit, and fire extinguisher. The grind on this isn't too difficult. You start off with, or you should have this gun, the 105mm, unlocked from the Tiger 2, and the stock turret is actually the Tiger 2's turret, so it's not that strong tool stock. But once you get it fully upgraded, this is an absolute monster. Let's just look into the stats, comparing it to the STI. As I've already said, penetration slightly down. It's 246. I think it's got. It might have the worst penetration for any tier 9 heavy tank, except maybe the WZ-111-14 might have the worst, but I'm not sure. 200, I thought it was 248. Oh well. So yeah, 240. This gun is actually pretty similar to the guns you get on the Ferdinand and the Jagdpanther 2 tier 8 tank destroyer guns. However, it does have better DPM than the STI. Mind you, I do have this equipment on, well, so that might affect it a little bit, but pretty sure they've got that the E75 does have slightly better DPM. Downside to this thing over the STI, it does have quite a long reload time. I think without the ventilation, and if you mount it in coated optics instead, I think it's something like a 13.2 second reload. So it is quite long, but then you got the 100 after this, which has about a 17-second reload with 150mm. But with my setup, I can get it down to about 12.9, as it says here. And the STI, I'm sure you can get that down to like 10 or 11 seconds. It does carry not that many shells either, only 36. Mind you, the STI doesn't carry much either. But the long reload of this, you are unlikely to fire all of your shots in this tank. View range 400 base, and obviously the STI being a Russian heavy tank, it doesn't have great view range. I think this thing has like 400 base with, or maybe even 410. Plus my ventilation gives it 432. Signal distance is actually pretty good, 773.9. With this radio it says 710, but ventilation and I don't have a cruise skill for my radio operator. I've got situational awareness, but not the other one that gives you better signal distance. Camo, it's a heavy tank. It's absolutely shocking. 4.3 while stationary, 2.3 on the move, and it's much worse than the STI's, like 2 whole percent difference on you. The STI is not exactly a stealthy tank either. Maneuverability, however, it is better in almost every single way than the STI. It's got a powerful engine, 900 horsepower. It does weigh quite a bit as well, but it's got a good power to weight ratio. Elevation 15 degrees, not brilliant. Depression 6 degrees. Again, not too good, but you can get around about 8 degrees off the side, I think. According to that, no, not quite 8 degrees, about 6.5. Yeah, gun depression is not brilliant, but when you're tanking up from the front, it doesn't really matter too much. Of course, normal tier 9, so normal tier 9 matchmaking. Ability, we've already kind of gone through that. Terrain resistance is better than the STI. I wish they would put those soft stats into World of Tanks, because they do matter quite a bit to this. Top speed, 40, 15 backwards, again, pretty good. 1920 hit points, that's 30 less than the not FV, VK4502B, the shoe, and also 20 more than the STI, which has 1900, and I think a whole 120 more than the IS-8, which is pretty good. Not much more to be seen there, and again, not much in there. So I think that's about it for now in Tank Inspector. So let's get into the replays. So here is my first of 2 replays for you. E75, well, why couldn't I be in it? Especially in a review of it. Continued up with Arceus and Jochen, both from Berserk. Arceus in his IS-8, Jochen in the T54 E1. And we're going to be heading into the town, or at least me and Arceus and so is Jochen. Along with, what else do we have? We have an IS. Brilliant, IS in the town with us in a tier 9 game. We've got almost the best matchmaking we could have hoped for. We are the only 3 tier 9s on our team. Enemy team also has an E75. Can I get a shot on? Nope. Arceus gets a nice shot. And I'll take it from an invisible Tiger 2 there. I don't know where that penned. Somewhere, obviously. Oh, it doesn't show my double mark of excellence that I've got on this. Yeah, I do play this thing quite well, which is why I do have 2 marks of excellence. I've completely lost my train of thought now. But anyway, me and RK is heading up into the town. Can I get a shot into this E75? Stock E75, you'll note he has 1820 health. So stock Tiger 2 turret, or well, top Tiger 2 turret, stock turret on the E75, so only 180 mils there. And he's using the 105 mil that you can probably hit from the shot. Get a nice shot into the AMX M4, so does RKS, which absolutely cripples him. And this game I just really wasn't caring about being shot at whatsoever. I was kind of curious about how that shot penned, because that is right on the lower, that's about as far down on the lower plate as you can probably get. And I think that shot on the upper plate was from that Tiger too. Nice shot through the turret of the E75, slightly lower of 473, but still good enough. RKS puts another shot into him. I need one more shot. We'll need a high roll to finish that guy off, but IS-8 pokes out. Great high roll on the IS-8, 582, track him. RKS puts another shot into the E75, and IS comes around and executes the E75. Yeah, I did say I wasn't caring about being shot at, and well, that just proves it really. IS-8 gets killed, T-34 free. I don't really care about him too much, he doesn't have nowhere near enough penetration to get through me. And that was a lucky shot, I don't know how that shot tracked him. But another high roll, 510 damage, and well, he just gone from 1300 health to 4 in a matter of like 10 seconds. So he all comes out in the east side of the town to kill the F-2. And that Tiger 2, he's been annoying to me this whole game. He's put 3 shots into me, one of them 10 by upper plate, I don't know how. Just being wary of that AMX AC-48, because if he's got the top gun, the 120mm, he can quite easily finish me off in one shot. Can I get my revenge on the Tiger 2? I've been spotted, I have no idea why, because spotting mechanics in this game are about as broken as they could be. Just get back in time to get back into cover from that AMX AC. And Tiger 2, oh hello. Time for my revenge. 504 damage, nice high roll. And someone gonna finish him off? Not yet, it turns out. Will RKS get the finishing blow? Yes, he will. You might notice that Jochen's died. I wasn't really paying attention at the time. Just focusing on my game with RKS. Can I get a shot into the AC? No, he gets into cover, but snapshot of the AMX M4 hits. Aim time on this gun 2.9 seconds, accuracy I think is about 0.38, I'm not sure. RKS gets a shot into the lever, I can't quite reload in time, but there's only 2 tanks left, one of them's an FCM-50T who's on the other side of the map, and the other is this lever, who is about to be sandwiched by me and some sort of German-Russian sandwich. Get another nice high roll, 517 bounces, he's got really no hope of penning me, even at that close, he can't get his gun down to pen me, and that is pretty much it. It's going to take the team a while to finish off that FCM, so let's just see the results. So a pretty decent game in the E75, first class, fire for effect, struggling on the old minor tokens, but a steel wall. I think Bruise is one of those minor tokens, and Hand of God as well. So yeah, almost 3.8k damage, which is alright. This thing can do more, but that's probably about slightly above average game. 1100 base XP, which is pretty darn good as well. Well, not KS didn't have a bad game either, 3k damage for him. So yeah, almost 2000 damage bot metal and just over 2100 spotting and assistance damage as well, which is not something you see very often in the E75. So let's go on to the next game, and here is the second replay I have for you. Pretty much the same matchmaking as the last game, only 3 tier 9s, except I'm all alone this time. Sad times. Yeah, top tier, Malanovka, gonna be heading up to the hill. So I'll just speed things up because Well, this thing is pretty manoeuvrable. It's not the fastest tank in the world, and not much happens while driving up to the hill. Excuse me. They have the health pool advantage because I don't know why. Because reasons. That's always a good thing. Yeah. So yeah, heading up to the hill. Got Lorraine. Got a few tier 9s as well. Well, it's only me and the Lorraine. The only tier 9s here. Our other tier 9, the Ag Tiger, is going to be defending the base in K3. But yeah, good hold down tanks here. Me, Centurion. VK is not brilliant, but it's not bad. It can get a few troll bounces. Speed things up here a bit more. So we'll get into some action. And I'll stop it there. So Centurion 7-1 has got a strong turret, and a Persian has got a strong turret too. So they've played quite sensibly regarding where to put their tanks. But well, Centurion, he's got a bit. Well, the Centurion's turret may be good, the size of it, the cheeks of it, because the gun mantlet only partially covers the turret front. It doesn't cover all of it. Get a low roll into that super version, about 400, but it's only a super version. That one bounces because reason shot went low into his gun mantlet. Version finishes off our Lorraine, but wow. That's one of our tier 9s gone. They've still got all 3 of theirs. I've just noticed that our Centurion is stock, so it doesn't have that good a turret after all. And yeah, that's about the Centurion's turret. Hit him, I think, through the turret ring for a nice high roll. Just over 500. And the Super Persian, he's got pretty much no hope of penning me with his gun. Take a hit from a Borsig, because camping Borsig. And can I get a shot off? I can get a shot off, but it won't pen. Not at that angle, not on the upper plate. And yeah, even with APCR, he's got no hope of penning me. I think he's got about 250, 260 pen with APCR, I'm not sure. So he could be able to pen me, but me and the Centurion, we've pretty much just got him here. Centurion should finish him off, or our Tiger 2 or someone. Centurion finishes him off, and I poke over the ridge. There's that gun pressure, not brilliant. Can't quite get a shot on the Borsig in that 2.9 second aim time. It's not brilliant, but for this high a caliber of a gun, 128mm, then well, aim time's not going to be brilliant. But get a nice shot into the Jagdpanther for almost 500. Can I get shots on anything else? Or are they all just too chicken and they're just camping off from the back? SU-122-44 takes a big hit, probably from the Borsig, but maybe from the Jagdpanther for high roll. I didn't see how much damage it did. But time for me to be the big boy, pushing up with my armour. Someone gets a shot into that Borsig, I don't know who, doing 520 damage. That might have been a combined shot from the SU and the Centurion, maybe the VK as well. But I finish off the Borsig, and he does get another shot into me, but I'm not too bothered about that. He's still got almost 1000 health left to play with. Get a shot into the T-32, there was no way that wasn't not going to pen. You know what I mean? T-32's hull, it's not bad, it's 127mm, but with this gun, it's just like a hot knife through butter really. Bounce off the Jagdpanther because strong gun mantlet, but the SU finishes him off. Can I get a shot into the T-32? Yep, shot into the side. American tank side armor, not brilliant. He bounces with his 198 pen, or something along those lines. He's got very little chance of penning me from the front without using gold ammo. And here comes a view range of this tank. I get spotted, I don't know what by. Maybe that IS-6, and I believe I did spot that IS-6 there, not the Borsig behind me. Borsig bounces off his butt, it seems, get a nice high roll into the IS-6, almost 500 damage. Out to T-29, and well, T-29, IS-6, who knows what else they've got there, but probably most of the team by the looks of it. Only the T-34 is pushed down almost into our base, but he's just been finished off by the third in, and there's a T30 almost into our base. So going to be pushing up here on my own, but I've got sniping support from the Borsig and those three tier 8s and tier 7s pushing up behind as well. Try and use this rock as cover. Spot out enemy tanks. I have no idea how that shot bounced off the side of the turret of the prop. T29 firing APCR, can't blame them. Not when firing against this tank. Especially a stock T29, that'll probably be the 90mm. He's using everything like the Hellcat and the T20. Bounce shot from the SU-152, he's obviously not using the 152mm dirt gun. Get a shot into the prop, low roll, but I don't really mind, I don't really care at this point. It's worth noting that I did have a mission, I think it was Heavy Tank 15 for the Stug 4, I can't remember. Nice high roll into the prop, but not enough to finish him off. And yeah, the mission was something like, I think it might have been Heavy Tank 15 for the Stug 4, 8,000 damage. Done, received, and blocked all together. And yes, this was the game that I got that mission. So just T30 left. I think he's on full health, judging by the team health pools at the top. And we know more or less where he is. He's in our base, somewhere almost near our base. There he is, 1549 health. We're capping this guy. Well, just a matter of time really. Who can get the kill? Who can get the most damage? That shot missed. I don't know what I was aiming at there. I might have had just sniver. That's a word, right? Yeah, that other shot. SU misses, and I pick up the kill just before the Borsig. Not just me. So let's see the results of that game. So Ace Tanker, Confederate Steel Wall, High Caliber, along with a few minor tokens, and my double mark of excellence, which I was talking about in the previous replay. And along with that, fairly nice 6,153 damage done with 1400 base XP and 3 kills. I think that was the most amount of damage I've ever done in an E75, which is quite something. But 490 alpha damage, it only takes a few shots for that damage to wreck it. 19 shots fired, 18 hits, 14 penetrations, damage brought by arm almost 4,100, along with some more assistance damage, 1,500 tracking and spotting damage as well. So don't forget, if you want your replays to be featured on my channel, all you need to do is email them to the emails popping up on screen now or in the description box down below. And as always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you on the next one.